was just another regular game. Deer Valley had just beat Antioch, and the gym was clearing out. Then, things took a turn, for the worse.
Student shot outside of a high school basketball game.
The 16-year-old was found outside of Deer Valley High School Friday night.
Police say it started when a boys' basketball game between Deer Valley and Antioch high schools was letting out.
A group of teens started fighting and gunfire rang out.
When it comes down to it, we have to ask ourselves, what world do I want to live in?
I just feel like it makes it like kind of sad because senior year is supposed to be like the funnest year out of every year.
So 3 more years to go, and definitely it's not going to be like forgotten. It's going to be mentioned a lot.
It's definitely going to affect the teachers and his family and the students who knew him, just make it a little harder to get through the end of the year.
It definitely would give me like a bad view, like on like these kids in general, like because the only way to handle problems is like violence, and it's like that's not the answer.
Do I want to live in a world of fear and hatred? Do I want to live in a world of sadness and grief? Every choice we make forges the world around us. What we engage in and participate in can shape the world for good or for bad.
John, he was a great guy. I was lucky to have him for 2 years, and he was a guy from day one I knew I could always count on. He would help me out with difficult kids in the class.
When I saw him hang out with his friends, I could see the excitement and laughter that John had with them too.
Seems like a genuinely good kid where he's got a face where you could always kind of see what he's thinking or what mood he's in, and he's very expressive without doing or saying a whole lot.
Brightest kids that I've ever met. He walked into a room and the entire atmosphere changed in a good way. He would just give a smile. He wouldn't say much.
I was pretty close to Jonathan, also known as John. He went to school here. He was in 10th grade. He has a younger brother. He loves football, playing football and playing basketball. You could always see him out in the quad on the west patio throwing the football around, or over in the gym playing basketball during lunch.
The world may seem dark now, but if you are hurting, grieving, and everything seems broken, resolve to make things better, to never let these things happen again, to make those small changes that will improve your life and the lives of those around you.
We'll have an empty chair where he sits over in the back, and we'll talk about it, what that feels like and what that means, but it will not be the same for sure.
Yesterday it was very difficult. Walking in, some of them knew, and taking roll, getting to his name, and everybody just kind of paused and realized he's not here. And then talking to the class about what happened, how it's going to affect us, and how we're family.
People are sad without John. He had many friends in the class, and people are hanging through it, but it's definitely an absence in the class. Something's missing from our class now.
Him not being here is really hard on all of us, especially my students who are in this class with him. So many good friends of his, so many people who just spent, their time with him, are walking around with a little piece of them missing. And so I've definitely noticed that, my class misses him deeply. I miss him deeply.
There's no instruction manual on how to cope with the loss of life. There's no right or wrong way to feel, but it's important to feel. Feel completely and entirely. And when the time has passed, and it will, you will heal.
I just come to school like waiting to see him. Like he's honestly like a good kid. Like he stayed to himself and stuff like that. Like I like I wish I could see him again. Like just laying on his desk, doing his own thing. It's like you can't.
Violence should never be the answer. Like I know his reputation is like what a lot of kids like look for, but you know it's not everything.
Well, violence at DV. I mean, I don't really know what you can do to stop it, but just talking with people who don't resort to violence, is trying to stay out of fights.
He is violent, like it doesn't need to lead to this, like fights don't need to lead to this. I feel like it's not that serious to be killing people over.
Violence is not and never has been the answer. It takes the lives of not only of its victims, but the lives of the victims' loved ones and others, as they are left to live a life completely changed.
Be peaceful. This tragic event can be a powerful transformation for you,
others,
in our city.